Spinny and I got into a little bit today in the group chat because some news came out about pick 70, and it's true value to help Detroit Lions fans kind of. I don't want to use the word swallow because it's an immediate pause, but to swallow the price you paid to draft Isaac TeSlaa. And it was an article from Jeremy Fowler who had mentioned teams like, do you actually still have it up on your phone? I believe it was the Raiders, Saints. Who was the third team?
The Broncos.
All had visits with Isaac TeSlaa that were both drafted like 71,
72,
74.
and 74.
Yeah.
It was Raiders, Bills, and Broncos.
Raiders, Bills, and Broncos. And obviously Brad Holmes did what he did.
Or it might have been Bills, Saints, Broncos.
Gave up, I think Saints were in there for sure.
Yeah, I think then it was Bills, Saints, Broncos because I don't remember
Saints,
the Raiders.
Bills, and Broncos.
Yeah.
And obviously Brad Holmes made the massive haul to get there at 70 to make that pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Robert, who's the Robert guy in your guys' chat in BD?
Robert Closia
Was asking me how you feel about the trade now. I still feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
It has to pan out. That's where I'm going to be on that side of the argument forever and always up until it pans out. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th round pick, right? But if you knew what he's going to be,
1st round pick,
all pro, yeah,
easily.
Would you give it 2 3rd-round picks to get Amon-Ra? Yeah.
Yes, in a heartbeat.
You would. So if Isaac TeSlaa becomes that, then yes. But until then, I'm not going to like the value of the trade. And the one we got in the argument about, too, was there was some of the Rams giving up a 2nd-round pick to get there.
Yeah, it was reported by
Mike Silver.
Jeff Risdon, and he quoted Mike Silver, and it says, real quick, sorry. The two teams involved here are interesting in that Gladstone previously worked with the Rams. In fact, he took the Lions GM Brad Holmes' old role with the Rams when Holmes became a Detroit Lion. His familiarity didn't hurt as the trade helped facilitate and smooth the on-the-clock trade. So this happened when the Jags were on the clock. The negotiation, the Lions won out. That helps explain the bidding war, the seemingly high cost for TeSlaa. And he goes on to say it said he was entrenched in the Jaguars' war room. And shortly after the 3rd round began, another potential option surfaced. The Detroit Lions called, floating a possible trade that would see their 3rd round pick, number 102, and a pair of 2026 3rd-rounders for the Jags for the 70th pick, and a 5th round selection and a 6th rounder. The Lions still weren't sure they wanted to do the deal, but they were laying the groundwork. And then he said a few seconds later, Gladstone got an offer from the Rams, their 2nd-round pick next year for the 70th selection. Now there were 3 scenarios. Try to close the trade with the Lions, accept the trade with the Rams, or stand pat and take the player they wanted. So the Rams called and said, we'll give you a 2nd-rounder next year for your pick. Is what Mike Steele.
Mike Silver.
Mike Silver. Mike Chrome. Mike Silver reported as he was entrenched in the Jags war room. So that's what he said, and you don't believe that?
Nah, I don't believe that. I think if that were true, it would have been done. The trigger would have been pulled. And what was reported, the reason why they didn't do it is there is targeting a specific edge rusher with that trade up, and he ended up going at 66. It was something Gillette, some edge rusher. He got picked at 66, so they called off the trade, and they accepted the deal with the Detroit Lions. I didn't do the homework on this. Maybe I should have. How many times a 2nd-round pick's been given up for a 3rd-round pick? But I feel like if you're willing to give up a 2nd-round pick, why are you doing that 70 when you could get the very top of the 3rd round? Because that 2nd round's always going to be more valuable than any 3rd-round pick ever. It doesn't change anything for me. I know, again, because Robert Closia and Neil were trying to champion it with like, oh, see, I think Neil thought they're trying to get TeSlaa for whatever reason. It has to work out.
Yeah.
End of the day,
every pick has to work out.
Every pick has to work out. But like,
for ones that you traded for is added pressure on it.
Yeah. And that's just where I'm at with it. I think it's a misuse of assets until proven so. If I'm going to fuck away picks like that, again, I want to do it for guys that are going to help my team win right now. Mm-hmm. Guys that have already produced in the league. And obviously, if you have high hopes for Isaac TeSlaa, who I think will be good, I think he fits this offense perfectly. You look at the routes he ran in Arkansas; they were the middle field routes. They're the routes you see Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Tim Patrick, those intermediate middle of the field. That's him all day. Plus, he has no drops, high character, wants to be a Detroit Lion. Quite literally, his entire life. That was what he predicted himself being in high school. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I think he's gonna be a good player, but it's just like I get where Brad's at too, though. I just think it's misuse of assets.
What do you need out of Isaac TeSlaa to approve of what was given up to get him? Not in his first year, obviously.
Straight up, I mean, I love Brad Holmes. I think Brad Holmes is the fucking man. So I truly don't need anything. I think it'll be a blunder, you know what I'm saying, if it doesn't work out. For it to be worth the 2 first-round pick or 2 third-round picks, at the very least, I mean, what does Pro Bowl mean these days? But at the very least, a couple Pro Bowls. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he's got to be a pass catcher that Brad Holmes drafts in the 4th round or higher. Because you look at the pass catchers that Brad Holmes has drafted in the 4th round or higher, and it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams.
Uh-huh.
So you got to be that. You got to be Pro Bowl level player. Mm-hmm. All-Pro even. Borderline All-Pro level player. Because J-Mo is the only one out of those 3 that hasn't gotten All-Pro. And I think he's going to be borderline next year. So, yeah, I don't think that's crazy expectations. Those are my expectations of him.
I thought you were still going. Yeah, that has to be expectations. That's what you gave up for him. Like, you literally gave up your entire 3rd round. And beyond your 3rd round, pieces you can maneuver to help you. The Chase Young trade, like, it's just so much you could have done with those. But you chose Isaac TeSlaa. And as a Lions fan, as a believer in Brad Holmes, I'm riding and dying it with you. But if you ask me my opinion of the trade, I'm going to be honest with you. No, I don't like it until it's proven so.
I mean, can't be mad at that, you know.
And I don't think it's a reach. Like, I think it was the clip I sent, whatever, from Twitter, was him talking about a reach. I don't think it's a reach for TeSlaa. You grab a guy where you grab him. Yeah. It was a trade.
To get
not
up
the reach for the player. Yeah, I don't care. You take an Isaac TeSlaa there. It's just what you gave up to get there. Is what felt like the reach. But
Nick?
I mean, I just feel like he does kind of have to be, or he does straight up have to be a stud at this point. Like, you did go up. There was, a lot of talk about this trade, and then obviously more coming out now about, the Rams wanting him, and he's got to be a stud. I mean, it's as simple as that. He is traded up in multiple 3rd rounds. Talk about Broderick, you talk about Manu, you talk about Hendon Hooker. Those are 3 guys that he's traded up for. And this is the one that he traded the most for. So, I mean, I'm not going to go against Brad's wide receiver evaluation later in the draft, I'll tell you that. But I still don't have to love the trade. But I think it'll be really good for this team. Do you think it'll be really good, Easy?
He has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Now, I guess the real question is, when do you guys expect him to be really good for this team? Is it year 1?
Right away.
Is it year 2? And is there
player of the year?
Is it gross if it's not year 1 in year 2, given what you gave up for him?
Year 2, he needs to be good.
Okay.
And I think he will.
I feel like
I think he's going to have a good year next year.
I think another thing, too, real quick with Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes, is like, your team is so good and so, like, in a sense, turnkey. Like, the talent is there right now that I think you can afford these, like, athletic traits type of draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it's just the trade. Like, I don't care about drafting Giovanni Manu. I really don't. But it's like, because if it works out, you're a fucking genius. And you didn't need the position anyway.
I've said it so many times over the past couple weeks. Like, Brad gets guys in the 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds that are just as good, if not better, than a lot of GM's picks in the 3rd round. So he can do that. He can, for all those people out there, be cocky. Because the guys he gets in the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds play for his team, play big roles for his team, earn second contracts, become Pro Bowlers, become All Pros. Like, he has that kind of acumen. And so if he wants his guy, he can get rid of some thirds to get him. Yeah, obviously he's got to be good. Everybody's got to be good, though. But he does have some added pressure because of the assets given up to get him. But I expect him to live up to that. Like, I think he's going to be a good player.
Year 2.
I think he'll be a good player year 1. I think year 2 is when he's going to really step it up.
Yeah. I think you're going to see something similar to J-Mo year 2 when he got back,
Mm-hmm.
When he started to, like, get going a little bit, big plays.
I think he might be more refined as a player than J-Mo, to be honest with you.
But he doesn't have that crazy elite speed.
Exactly.
But
I think
you
you
could
look at
see,
him.
like, expect some big plays here and there. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Not the consistency every week.
Think Tim Patrick. Honestly.
Timmy P?
Timmy P, baby.
Next year?
And Timmy P.
Or this year?
Maybe even, I mean, in spurts this year, yeah. But he obviously won't have the full-time role because Tim Patrick's there
he's
now.
got to be better than Tim Patrick.
Because of what you gave up for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his ability and size.
Would you say, though, healthy Tim Patrick, before all the injuries,
Let's see Tim
had the
Patrick's
upside
best
of like
year.
a guy you would maybe give that up for?
Let's see.
I mean, they are third-round picks at the end of the day. So is it really like a who gives a... But you also got Lee McNeil in the third round.
Tim Patrick's best year.
Kirby.
He had
But he also
742
right.
yards. It was 2020.
Product.
He had 51 catches,
Not it.
742 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Say it one more time. I apologize.
51 catches, 742 yards, 6 touchdowns. That was his best year. Got to be better than that.
Well,
I won't say got to, because
what I'm saying.
if that's what you get out of a third-round pick, that's really good. He will be better than that.
it's what you get out of 3 third-round picks, though.
Yeah, I believe he will be better than that.
You should.
I think
It's a weird middle ground because, like, the team will be successful almost regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yep.
like, and he'll contribute in some form or fashion, and you'll be a fan of it because he's going to be a red zone threat for damn sure. So it's we just have to deal with it.
I
It is what it is.
really like TeSlaa. I think obviously his build, his measurables, and his hands are just absolutely otherworldly. And with the way the Lions scheme up openings for their receivers and scheme their receivers into open spots on the field and spots for them to have success, I think it's a match made in heaven, personally.